good now.
Yeah, I think that's great. All right, Bailey Rymes, welcome to the podcast. It's what a treat, what an honor it is to have you here. Right before you leave, we snuck it in right under. We actually probably almost didn't sneak it in, but thank God, whatever happened, you got sick and you had to stay, and now you're here.
I did it on purpose. I actually decided. I said I'm gonna have an elective gallbladder surgery. Wanted to lose a little bit of weight, and organs weigh things.
Yeah.
So I said, I think this is the one I'll do this time.
Yeah, good for you. What's the gallbladder all about? Now that you probably know it inside and out, I don't even know. Where is that? That's in the
It's like
cerebral cortex or what?
It's in the prefrontal cortex. It's like in between your ribs, and then you have like your liver. I have my appointment Thursday to follow up.
So you'll know more about it then.
Yeah, because I don't really know what it does.
You just know that yours, what, sucks?
Yeah.
What
I just
happened?
know that they had to get rid of it.
Really?
Is this?
Yeah, you're good. As close as you can get to the, you can hear me nice and loud, right?
Can you hear me?
A little bit. You should be able to hear yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Is this to your liking?
That's perfect.
Christopher.
Yeah, I don't like people too loud, you know. I tend to turn people down. If they get a little too rowdy, I turn them down. But
Classic
you're doing well so far. So keep it up. You're being very well behaved. So you got the gallbladder thing, and then they have to take it out, or they just have to reprimand it, and then it's going to do a better job next time.
Well, they tried talking to it first, and we tried a sticker chart, but then we had to go in, and it's like laparoscopic, so they like cut like 4 different places, like on your abdomen.
Yeah.
And then they like go in somehow. I don't know. I wasn't awake during it, I'll be honest with you.
They knock you the fuck out, and they just go to town on it. Who knows what they're actually doing in there?
I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with not knowing if they put something extra in. I'm okay with that too.
And then afterwards, what's gonna happen? Now, if you don't need a gallbladder or what, you'll just keep going on with life without a gallbladder. And
yeah, it's like non-essential. I think the same way an appendix is.
What's up with that? We just grew out of them. We just no longer.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's been bothering me lately is like I haven't had my appendix out yet, and I feel like given the way my health stuff's going, it's going to be next, but like vital organs.
Yeah, when
are they going to go?
Yeah, those come probably down the line somewhere. I think you got a couple good
Months.
years left in you. Yeah.
Days.
Yeah, so you made it you did what? You did your time here. You did what, a full year?
I did.
Look at this cat, dude. How psychotic it is.
Stop it.
Yeah, the cat is climbing on the balcony. That would be crazy if it fell off.
Now,
I wish I could move the camera, but I'm terrified of ruining our perfect view. But yeah, just know that the cat is about to maybe hop off the balcony.
And if she does, that's her choice. That's her choice. We can't.
Yeah, she's.
Can't force her.
No, she kind of does whatever she wants. I can't tell if she wants to get out of here. Like, there's times where I'll open the door and she'll just make a beeline for it, and I'm like, oh, she really wants to get out of here. And then other times, I think she likes it here.
Well, she was raised on the streets, like we talked about, so she's used to that.
Yeah, that's true. Let me see if I
she
can
wants to
show
go.
an angle of where this cat is at. That's pretty risky, right?
Ma'am,
Yeah,
collect yourself.
All right, Matt, I knew that was gonna fuck it up.
Don't eat tape.
All right, so back to where we were.
Yes.
We'll cut that out.
Very important. Don't cut anything out.
Well, I don't have an editor, so nothing's getting cut out.
It's all going out there. We're not going to even watch it or listen to it.
No. It'll get listened to. The masses will listen to it. People demand it, you know?
Yeah. They do. I've heard a lot about it in the scene.
Yeah, everybody's talking about it. I stopped doing it for like a month, and people were like, I didn't know you had a podcast. What's No, nobody said shit, but it'll this one will probably put it on the map for sure.
I would imagine. I have a lot of
This one
sway
doesn't. Yeah.
in every community I join.
Yeah. So you came out here, and you're in when? Last year?
No, so I moved here in like 2 years ago, in May 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started stand-up like a year ago.
Wow.
Yeah. But
And
then
the career is already taken off. And you're already on this podcast? That's pretty
I-
crazy. It just goes to show you, people, if you put in the work, things can happen for you.
you get the rewards, and this is why
You can
I
be
started.
on this porch on a dark, dimly lit. The thing is, it's so well lit out here, but on the camera, I don't know if it's translating, but whatever. Fuck it.
Whatever, it's fine.
People are going to have to deal with it. If they have problems,
I'll
they
get used
can
to
they can take it up with
Guadalupe?
you.
No, she's in charge.
Oh, Guadalupe. Yeah, she'll take care of it.
God, disrespect.
So you just started recently, huh? That's pretty crazy. I
Yeah.
forget how people in Miami, like, they start. Like, I just assume everybody's been doing comedy for like 5 years, and it's different out here. Like, people have just begun, but people are pretty good considering like how new people are. I think people get better faster. I know when I started, it was a slow process before I was actually doing any real shows. But out here, it's like that's all there really is real shows. So you don't really have. I mean, you have some shitty open mics and stuff, but you're getting thrown into like good shows. Like you did Off the Hook a year into comedy. That would be terrifying to me.
It
I
was
would be.
terrifying.
Well, you handled it
definitely-
well. You did. You
I
were,
didn't cry once on stage.
but that's it's very scary to get in front of a real crowd, and you're with
With people who like know their shit. You
I wouldn't
goes
go that
up and
far.
murders, and then it's like I just waltz up there, do a little tap dance, bake them some cookies, and they're like, eat shit.
Yeah, but you have to grade it on a scale. Like if you were against me at 1 year, you would be like, wow, I'm so much better than this asshole.
Well, it's hard because our comedy is so similar.
It is the exact same. It's very dark, anti-woman.
Yeah, you take my material all the time,
Yeah.
and it's become a real issue for me.
We have some good anti-woman shit. Anything that's like self-deprecating for a woman is kind of anti-woman, you know?
Yeah,
You're like, man, women are so dumb.
these skanks
Yeah.
out in the street wanting health care, please.
Yeah. It's like, get it together,
It's
ladies.
like, get back in the kitchen.
Yeah, they kind of love. They're very. I mean, I just assume they're right wing in Naples, but I don't know that anybody's ever like confirmed it. But comics will go up and be like, "Oh, yada yada yada," and it's not like they necessarily agree with all like crazy right wing stuff. We just kind of assume that they tend to lean that way. But I think, yeah, I guess anywhere in Florida that's like outside of Miami is probably going to tend to lean in that direction, so they appreciate those jokes more. Like somebody was doing all like abortion jokes, and I don't think they love abortion jokes, but I don't know many crowds that do love like pro choice, like pro killing babies joke. Maybe in like New York City.
It's not pro killing babies. It's pro.
Well, when they put it like that, when they put it like,
Okay.
oh, I'm for killing
I didn't know
babies.
if we were gonna have a quarrel again.
We just end up fist fighting out here.
We do.
But no, usually when you want to make an abortion joke, you have to go to one extreme or the
Yeah,
other. So it's
yeah.
like you have to be like, I'm pro killing babies, or I don't know. I don't know what the other side of that would be. That would be funny. But it's
You better
just,
work on that joke, Chris. 'cause
Yeah,
right
it's
now
in the works.
it's not good.
It's in the works.
One
but I
day you'll
guess-
get there.
I guess
You
what I'm
work hard
saying is,
enough.
we assume they're very like uptight and stuff in Naples, and they're really not. They're kind of just down. They're kind of up for whatever. They're able to like make fun of themselves and stuff, I think. But yeah, I guess if they don't jive, I've had a few sets out there that go very poorly. You know.
I feel like because it's Naples and it's all retired, like old people, and there's a lot of wealth there, usually a lot of Republicans.
Mm.
Like my parents live in a similar area, but douchier.
Yeah.
And there's like my parents are like 50 and 54. I don't know. But
That's
they're
young.
in that
They're
range.
young.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like, we don't want a life of our own.
Yeah.
Let's have kids immediately. Like when my parents were my age, they had 2 kids. They owned a business. They had a house.
Crazy to think about,
They had
right?
so much generational trauma
Would you,
packed onto me.
if you had kids and a family right now, where would you be living, you think? In your parents' basement?
Absolutely not. I'd be not living.
You just end it?
Jumping
Be like,
off
fuck
with
this,
that one.
dude.
No, I think in a scenario, how old are my children?
They're 45.
They're 45.
Yeah.
I would definitely live in like Wisconsin
Yeah.
because I want them to be like around a lot of like pasteurized cheese.
Yeah.
That's one of my values, my core values.
It's one of your must-haves when looking for apartments.
It's like on House Hunters. I'm like, I don't need to be close to the beach, but I need to be
give me
close
some cheese
to the cows that then produce the milk for cheese.
That makes sense.
I don't know how they get the milk to the cheese.
You don't have to worry about that. You can outsource
I'm too pretty.
all that.
I don't have to know that.
You're not a farmhand. You're more of an indoor cat. So
Batty.
your parents are there. Are they retired at 50 and 54? Or are they still working?
Yerp. They're
Good
retired.
for them.
Yes.
Man, I need to get on that plan, dude.
Yeah. It just New England, baby.
Just coasting. So where in New England are you from? You're from Manchester?
No. It's absolutely upsetting that you would say that.
I thought you said that.
No, I said
Manch
Vegas. No, I didn't live there.
Totally different Manch Vegas.
Please, what's the capital of New Hampshire?
Montpelier is Vermont.
Correct.
I know you didn't ask me that, but I just want you to
one.
know that. It's not Dover.
Ew.
It's I know what it is. I mean, it's not one you would expect it to be, or it is one you would expect it to be.
I don't know.
It's not. What the fuck am I thinking? What am I thinking of? Where do they do all the shows and shit? Where's the comedy scene located in?
Oh, you'd think it'd be like Portsmouth, but
Yeah,
it's not.
It's not Portsmouth.
It's Concord.
I wouldn't have got that.
I don't think you would have either.
We would have been here for a long time.
A long time.
Massachusetts has a Concord too. What's up with how these states all couldn't come up with other names? They were just like, yeah, let's just use. There's a Manchester, Massachusetts.
Is there?
Pretty sure. Manchester by the Sea.
Oh, did you see that movie?
Yeah, so uplifting, right?
That movie, I think, wrecked me.
I
as
mean,
a human.
They made a movie just to make people depressed. Usually movies have like
some sort of like arc,
a message
or
at the end. This was just like, how depressed can we make you?
Oh my God, I don't know why I watched it because of like our culture, Aflax.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
But then I was like, I think I need to set fire to something with me inside.
It almost feels like, yeah, like it was cheating. Like they just kind of made like a Boston movie, but then also, how do we get people to watch it? Let's make it as depressed. Let's see how depressing people will go.
And
for a movie.
doing like Manchester by the Sea because they're like, Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah.
Excuse the shit out of me,
Yeah.
J.T. Rockefeller.
I remember watching that movie and be like, what the fuck is this movie about? Like,
I know.
you're like halfway through it and like nothing has really happened. And you're like, how is this getting all these awards and shit?
Just Casey Affleck.
And then it's like, oh, everybody dies.
Classic.
Spoiler alert.
If you guys haven't seen it, watch it now.
Everybody's about to fucking die.
Because this is going to blow up and we're going to ruin the lives of so many.
I know. Well, I'd rather save people from watching it because you saved yourself 2 hours of not being depressed, not to mention the time after the movie where you're very depressed.
Oh, yeah, like that recovery period?
Yeah.
That happens to me a lot.
Yeah.
With
where
like a
you're just,
lot of different
bummed out.
shows. Yeah, where I have to like reevaluate my entire life.
I've been told I look like Casey Affleck. Do you see that?
No.
Damn. Maybe when I had hair.
Do you want to look like Casey Affleck?
Yeah. Any part of the
No.
Affleck tree that I could be a part of?
It's Ben or nothing.
Yeah, you're right.
No.
No, I think maybe when I had hair,
Chris, you sweet, sweet boy.
I looked like, Malcolm in the Middle, Frankie Muniz. I used to get him a lot. Definitely when I had hair. And now people are just like, oh, fucking anybody bald. They're like, Bruce Willis, Jason Statham. I'm like, I don't actually look like those people. I'm just bald, all right?
You're taking one characteristic. It's like with being blonde. People will say a bunch of different people, and I'm like,
Come
I'd
on.
love to look like those people, but let's be honest with each other.
Yeah, let's dig a little deeper here.
Yeah, let's dig a little deeper. Come on.
So you're from Concord.
No.
You're just naming the capital.
No, I was born in Keene, New Hampshire. We're taking it back. And then I lived in Chesterfield first.
Keene, that's where Keene State is?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they have something crazy? Oh, no, that was Kent State. They had like a shooting or something
Yeah, it was Kent State.
back in the day.
Back in the day.
Like the 70s, right? It was like a...
I don't know. I think you were probably alive then when you were 10
No.
in the 70s. Yep.
Oh, yes, I was. You're right.
Oh, yes.
I'm not good at math.
That was the stupidest joke I've ever made in my entire life.
No, that was
Don't
good.
blacklist me.
That was killer. We'll cut that
Yeah.
part out. I'll beep that out. So it looks like you just said something really filthy and
Yeah.
super offensive.
Yeah. I want that to go around. I want my good girl image to be tarnished and people to think I'm edgy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a good way to do it. If you just beep something out that someone says, it looks like they're saying something really, really shitty.
We got to start doing that because I can't live like this forever.
No. Yeah.
Oh, but anyway, back to me.
Yeah,
So I
please.
was born there
Yeah.
and then lived in Chesterfield, which is like right on the border like of Vermont. So it's like Chesterfield and Brattleboro. And I was a gymnast, so I competed gymnastics in Vermont.
Yeah.
I lived in New Hampshire, and then I went to school in Massachusetts at Deerfield at Bowman School. It's right
Yeah.
across from Deerfield Academy.
I believe you.
So,
So that's your life. Oh, it's a nice school?
prestigious. Deerfield Academy?
Yeah, I don't know. I should know.
You should.
There's a lot of good... all New England, I feel like, is all like prep schools and stuff.
It is. It definitely. It's not like I went to like a prestigious one.
Right. You
I
just went to
like,
A1.
Run of the mill. Like they were very experiential, not experimental. They put us in rat cages and
Really?
tried to see what would work. No, they were into like a lot of wood stuff.
Yeah,
Like you go out there.
Yeah, I could see that. And it was like close to New Hampshire?
It was in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
So then we moved like closer to Concord when I was like 11. And then there I like went to school, and then I went to again another town that is both Massachusetts and New Hampshire. I went to school in Andover.
Okay. So you're kind of all over. You're a little Massachusetts, a little New Hampshire.
Yeah, which is why I get to identify with Massachusetts and not New Hampshire. Thank you.
Yeah, when it's convenient. Or I guess it's always convenient.
It always is. I never want to be associated
with
New
New
Hampshire.
Hampshire.
Live free or die.
What does New Hampshire have? Adam Sandler?
Okay, I want to be associated with that.
Yeah.
Um,
Sarah Silverman, is she New Hampshire?
I know that Seth Meyers, he is
All right, so there's some things that come out of there.
too.
But yeah, mostly it's like... Yeah, it's like the shittier parts of Massachusetts is like New Hampshire.
I
you know,
would
like
say-
western Massachusetts is kind of New Hampshire-y. Nor the parts that like touch New Hampshire, kind of New Hampshire-y.
New Hampshire feels like racist Vermont.
Yeah. And
'Cause
what
you
is Vermont?
have-
And what's Vermont? Vermont's just
Vermont's
outdoorsy.
like outdoorsy.
They're
and
too
like,
far detached from everything.
Yeah.
Too close to Canada, so that makes them like really nice, I guess.
Exactly. I think that's what it is.
Pushovers.
Like New Hampshire, it's like the higher up you get towards Canada, that doesn't mean they're nicer. Like they're, like, have you ever snowmobiled?
No, not that I can remember. And I feel like that's something you would remember if you did, huh?
Oh my God.
That's a big thing in
It's just embarrassing
New
to
Hampshire.
even be in the same room as you. I did when I was like a child. Like my parents, we like bought us like mini ones.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
I would like jump them off of things I wasn't supposed to.
You were a wild rebel.
They had to put me in gymnastics. I like had ADHD so severely, but went undiagnosed. So I did gymnastics like 16 hours a week.
You just want to be
Like,
flipping, doing crazy shit.
I needed to be climbing things and
Yeah.
doing something at all times.
Isn't it crazy to think of all the energy you had as a kid? Now it's like, oh, I got to go do this thing. I got to go walk to a place. It's like, God damn it, that's so much. But then back in the day, all you want to do is like, you don't even think about it. You're just doing all this
Yeah, and you like love it.
crazy shit all the time.
Like I would beg there'd be like open gym, so you'd get to like go and practice. I would beg to go to that on top of everything else. And then my parents bought me balance beams. They were like close to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had like different mats, and so I would practice like, constantly. And then I broke both my feet and my hand.
You're just a walking hospital visit over here.
Yeah, and then my career ended when I was like 12.
Yeah.
And then I moved into dance. 'cause
Right
I was
before the
like,
Olympics, dude. You had it,
So
too.
close.
The Olympics was in sight.
So close. But you did sports too.
I was no gymnast, but I did. I did my thing, you know.
Would you like to expand on that?
I did basketball and soccer. Those are my jams. But yeah, it was the same way. It was just like every weekend, every weekday. It was life, dude. That's all. That was like my entire identity until I like
Same.
graduated college. Then I was like, oh, now what the fuck do? I have to
That's like a real thing. Did you get
PTSD.
Yes. Yes, this podcast is sponsored by post-traumatic stress disorder. Did you get like what's the word, like recruited to a college?
Not really. Just kind of went there and played.
But it's still like, I've heard that so many times that it's like such a big part of your identity that then when it goes away, you're like, what?
Yeah, like what the fuck do I do now?
Is there? Like when I stopped gymnastics, I had already like been like starting to transition into dance, and I did cheerleading for like 3 minutes. It's a time of my life I'm not proud of.
Cheerleading?
Yeah, I'm not proud of that.
Yeah, cheerleading's gotta suck, huh?
Unless
you're doing like cool shit like they do at like some of these big name colleges or something that have like cool ass, like Bring It On. That looked pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was like Bring It On.
But
exactly
like cheering
that.
for like your high school football team has to suck so bad.
It would. My high school didn't have that. Thank God. We had like a dance program that.
So you're just cheering for nobody?
No, this was in middle school.
Oh.
Yeah, I just kind of did it in my basement. My parents were like, "We think she has a disorder.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is."
It wasn't an actual team. It was just you.
It's just me. There were
Fucking
some teddy
around.
bears. There was someone in the neighborhood. He was blind. He just wandered in, and I was like, "You're gonna live here now."
Yeah.
And he gave me like a lot of critiques. Honestly, that's why my form is so good now.
Yeah. You still got it, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I did a backflip on my way in.
Just for fun.
I just wanted to flex.
Just to make sure you could.
Yeah, there was a UPS guy, and I was like, "Hey, want to see me deliver this?"
And he's like, no. And then he did it anyway.
"Yeah." And now we're married.
He's like, well, what the fuck? I'm just trying to deliver this package here.
I'm like,
Now I
I'm
got
trying
this
to
bitch in my
deliver some
way.
pizzazz. How about that?
That was a nice one. We're keeping that one in. So you cheered for nobody, and
For
then
nobody. I did some like competitions,
okay,
and that was no.
yeah, it wasn't for you. What
No.
about dance? What's the difference between dance and cheerleading? Dancing's a little more cooler.
Dance is like usually like in a studio. Are you asking logistically?
Yeah, what
or,
made
like,
you enjoy one and
street-wise?
hate the other?
Because dance to me is like gymnastics is like a sport. Like, and I think like they're all like athletic. I do think dance is a sport as well. But I mean, as far as like dance, you include art into it, because with gymnastics, there's like preset routines. And then when you get to like level 7, you can start choreographing them. But it's not real dance choreography. It's like very rigid. Like the form difference when you're doing gymnastics, like the entire technique is completely different in gymnastics than dance. So when I like made my switch to dance, I had like the upper hand in terms of like flexibility and like agility, but I had to relearn all the technique that I'd been like banged into my head since I was like 5.
Yeah. You got to
So-
and rhythm too, I would think.
Exactly.
That's the
They were
toughest
like,
part.
she doesn't know how to do anything.
Yeah, you got 2 left feet.
Gotta buy a lot of costumes. That was a big thing.
Yeah, costumes are
A lot
big.
of costumes.
Yeah, my niece does dance, so I get it. You got like a tap section and shit like that.
She's a little one.
Yeah,
She's a little tap. She's a little like shiny ones that have little ribbons
yeah.
on them.
I haven't gone to any concerts yet, or whatever they call them, recitals. Yeah, but I have
Neglect.
to. Oh, I've seen the videos, and I'm like, all right, I get it.
Not enough neglect.
I get the idea.
Yeah, is she like really good, or like just between you and I and them?
I have no
She's-
idea. I imagine she's
is her
fucking.
form spotty?
I imagine she's pretty on the ball. If she has any of my dancing abilities, then she's probably the best in the class.
I would imagine.
Probably pretty
yeah.
smooth.
Tap was my least favorite because
so
my
crazy.
brain like
That-
it just your
Yeah,
feet,
they just have little kids smashing their feet on the ground all day.
it's just
That's
and
hell.
I stopped doing tap when I was like 15 because I was like, this is stupid. They go so fast. You get to a level where like it's so extreme, but they make it look so easy. And I was like, oh, this isn't for me. This isn't. I can't pretend. Like, I was able to get by in a lot of things by just, like, pretending I could do it. But that was one that I...
Yeah, sometimes competition gets so extreme, or sometimes people take it so seriously that you're just like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, they had, like, custom tap shoes that were, like, suede. And I was like, that's stupid.
Yeah, I remember I did track and field in high school for, like, one season. And I was bad at it, so that probably didn't help. But I was like, this is dumb. I don't want to... Like, everybody's taking this too seriously.
So you had, like...
But I was like, yeah, I would have taken it seriously, too, if I was good at it.
That's true.
You know?
That's true. I tend to, like, if I was good at tap, I would have gotten really into it. But, like, since I wasn't good at it...
Yeah.
Didn't really matter.
So, what are you looking forward to most about going back to... Will you consider yourself full-time Bostonian when you get back? Or will you still have roots in... You don't really have roots in New Hampshire anymore. Or do your parents still go back there?
No, so they were going to keep, like, their house in New Hampshire and move to Florida and do, like, the back and forth thing.
Nicotine? It's good for you. Nobody ever takes that when I offer people nicotine.
I just, like, took a handful and just swallowed it all.
People have done that before. Guys can't say no to shit, so the guys will be like, what even is that? And it's like, it's not a lot of nicotine, but it's, like, enough nicotine, and they'll just be like, I'm very lightheaded now. I'm like, yeah, you can't just
jump on.
Yeah, but guys can't say no to shit. But girls have no problem saying no to, at least to fucking stuff like that.
Yeah, certain things.
You ever do dip in New Hampshire? That seems like a thing chicks would do in New Hampshire.
Do I look like the kind of person?
You want me to answer this truthfully?
Chris, I swear to God.
I'm going to say you've tried it once. You've never even tried it. Wow. I had no idea.
Well, this is...
That's the most insulting thing?
Well, no, you know the most insulting thing.
What's the most insulting thing? Oh, yeah, that's pretty funny.
Guys, if you knew what it was, you'd be insulted too. It's so mean, and I don't want to say it because I don't want people to see it.
Yeah, you don't want them to bring it up.
Well,
and when a million people see this, then everybody's going to call you that on the street.
I don't want them to, like, see me and be like, I can see what he's saying. I can see what he's saying.
This guy's onto something.
No, I never did that. Ever.
You never did dip. You were never like, oh, that's so hot. I want to get into that.
Yeah, my dentist, Dr. Chung, and I were very close. Like, he gave me these coins that said best patient ever. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
And he let me go there until I was 24. It was a pediatric
Oh,
dentistry
that's
place.
the best. What a guy.
What a guy. What a guy. Shout out to him.
Did she fall? Did you hear? I thought I heard something. But maybe I heard a bike. That would be funny. Whatever. The show must go on.
Are we really not going to explore that?
I mean, I assume she'll be all right. I assume she'll... if she was to fall, she would just land in a bush down there. And I think she'd be good. Yeah, you didn't see her fall, right?
Do people trust you with living things?
Enough, I guess. I've tried to offer this cat up to people, and people are like, "No, you can't get rid of this cat." I was like, "All right, I tried."
Do you love her?
I do like her, but sometimes I feel like she could just have a better... If she had other cats in her house.
Well, that's the thing is when you have... If you must know, thanks for asking.
Yeah, I think she needs multiple cats.
Yeah, you need to usually have 2 cats, like 2 infant cats.
Yeah, and they could have grown up together and shit.
Otherwise, they'll, like, bite you.
Whatever, she'll come around somewhere. I mean, she's never fallen off before. I don't know why she would now. Right? She's out here all the time. So if she did it on the podcast, she just does it for the views, I guess. She knows what she had to do. She's like, I'll help you out, Dad. This is not gonna get anything unless we...
Does she call you Dad or Padre?
I think she's a little both. We're raising her both. You know.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah, because all the women that she's met have been Latina, so she's a little. She got a little flair and she got a little attitude to her. If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as a spicy Latina myself.
Yeah, you get it.
I get it.
You get it.
I get it.
When you go back to Boston, what are you looking forward to most? The Boston culture? It's kind of going to be a whole nother
I mean, I'm looking forward to doing like a lot of dip now.
I've negged you into it.
Yeah, now I'm like really excited about
like maybe
it.
Maybe I am that.
Maybe I
person.
am that person. I think there were like a lot of things I miss about Boston and New England, but a lot of things I love about Miami. Like, there's never a good time to like make the move.
Right. You kind of just got to do it because it's like moving countries almost. It's like a light country move. It's not like full. It's not like full going to Europe and then coming back.
But it's definitely Miami. Like going from anywhere to Miami and Miami to anywhere, it feels like a different like thing. Like I feel like I'm a different person in Boston than I am here, and not like I'm wild here and like normal there. Like just
interactions are all different.
Yeah, things are different. I'm like a lot colder.
Here? In Boston?
In Boston.
Yeah,
I think I'm also a little cold here because I get anxious when I meet people.
That are too nice?
Yeah.
Or just in general?
In general, but then when people are too nice, I'm like, what is it you want?
Yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah, this seems sus.
Yeah. What's the game plan?
I miss my friends.
Yeah.
I feel like we should look into this cat thing.
I'm sure she's playing her... All right, we'll pause it and we'll come back and we'll see where she's at. All right, we're back. And, turns out she did fall off. That was crazy. Is that good?
Yeah, so it appears she did fall off, if you guys want to know what happened. We went down to check and see how she was doing. Chris discovered her in a bush, and he likes to pick her up the way a mama cat would.
That's what she likes. And we got... these, so
perfect.
It wasn't all,
that makes up for it.
Wasn't all bad. Yeah, I can't believe... I knew the day was coming. I didn't think she would wait until I recorded a podcast out here. But I think she just wanted to help spice things up a little bit. I think she was like, this... She's like, this podcast sucks right now. I'm fucking jumping off.
She knew we're cutting the entire beginning.
Want some Skittles?
No, thanks.
Really, I haven't had purple Skittles in a while.
Well, today's your day.
Oh, God. Delish. So, yeah, it was crazy. Glad we found her. That would have been a real bummer.
Yeah, that would have been a whole thing. I liked how you just continued with the podcast. You were like, I feel like she fell off. And then you just kept looking, and you're like, she'll be fine.
This never happened before. I've had her for over a week. It's never happened. No, I asked everybody before I let her out here. I was like, is it all right if she's out here? Turns out
go around and knock on doors?
No, just anybody I've had or anybody that knows cats. I'm like, yeah, I'm on the 4th floor. Can she go out on a balcony? And they're like, yeah, she can go out, probably. I'm like, that's good enough. Probably.
Balcony experts, okay.
Probably sounds good enough to me. And the thing is, she's out here all the time. Like, I leave the door open when I leave, so she basically lives out here. I don't know what it was.
PTSD. Look at, she's having a flashback.
I think she honestly was just like, I can't listen to these assholes talk anymore about New Hampshire and Boston.
Why
just need to jump off.
So dry? Should we just hit each other? I don't know what's going on with us.
Nah, we're good. We're getting into it, dude. You just got to. We should have had a drink. What do you like to drink usually?
I like wine.
Yeah.
I like High Noon. I like tequila.
Oh, this bitch fucking parties, huh? I like to rock and roll. So, what were we saying? Oh, when you go back to
you have no alcohol,
Boston. No, I don't want to start drinking yet. It's too early. Sun hasn't even set yet.
So we are responsible with our drinking, but not caring for our cat.
No. Oh, imagine if I was just drinking in here all day. How many more times she'd fall off?
How many times she'd be thrown off?
Yeah, be like, fuck this.
All right,
she doesn't need to be here right now.
I forgive you for this.
You loved Miami, but now your time has come. Do you think you'll come back and visit, or you think you're gonna be like, fuck all these hoes?
Well, both. Mm-hmm. I will fuck all these hoes and come back.
Yeah.
I think it's like, it wasn't a decision. It wasn't like I sat down and was like, all right, is it time for Boston or Miami? It's like my lease ended. And
you had to make a decision.
yeah, because I was supposed to move back to Boston. Actually, I was initially only supposed to come to Miami for 4 to 6 weeks. And then that turned into 4 months. And then that turned into 16 months. And then, whoops, 2 years.
Now here we are. I'm not even sure you're going to leave when the time is to leave. I think you're going to get cold feet again.
Well, it's each time my body just starts shutting down.
I think that's a sign.
I don't know what it is.
You belong here.
Yeah, I'm
Your tan is not complete. I think that's it. It's like
it's not complete.
You're not done
not
cooking.
Fully baked yet. I'm still raw. It's hard though because like all my friends in Boston are like, "What the fuck are you doing in Miami?" And then all my friends here are like, "Why are you going to Boston?" And it's just the shittiest timing.
Yeah. It's tough when you get out here because people are like, "Yeah, you're never gonna leave."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yeah, I can kind of see that."
No, I can get it. Like I can.
Right.
I think that's part of my thought process too. Is I was like, like my friends and like my friends' kids, like I miss them, and like I don't want to keep being far from them, because I'm a saint.
Yeah.
And
yeah, friends' kids are a big reason to move.
Yep. I do it for the children. I think too, just like I mentally need to be in a space like I need to like feel like grounded. Like I feel like I need to go back to New England and like feel like my feet back on the ground there because Miami's super stimulating, and like that like can be too much for me. So I need to like get that like base down before I can come back, because right now like I'm like burning out, and I've definitely been like sabotaging comedy for a while now.
You've been going too hard. What do you mean by sabotaging? Just killing it too hard?
Yeah, that's when it just
sabotaging the scene, just
murdering every night,
making everybody be like, why do I even do this anymore? This is stupid.
Exactly.
There's no more spots. Bailey is just doing every single spot.
Yeah, you see a poster. It's just
all the time.
Different pictures of me all at once. I think it's more like the first 6 months I was like a love-hate, but then I just kind of like coasted off of things I had written. And then, because the writing usually isn't the difficult part, like the way I used to write, because I would be like, I'm going to write a paper and it's going to be perfect. And then that got boring because then you're just like doing a monologue. So then I've tried to be like more fun, but like it's a process, as we know. But like self-sabotaging in the sense that like I'm like telling myself I'm going to fuck it up before I fuck it up.
Yeah.
Like, and like determining like with certain shows that I'm not going to do well. And then I get on stage and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like then I do poorly because I'm not there. I'm not like, but I've been getting these big opportunities and it's really exciting. But then I think that's like,
it's almost your body telling you like, oh, you're not ready for this yet.
Yeah, that like I want those opportunities, but if I continue right now, I'm not going to succeed, like
at the rate that it's going at. So yeah, Boston will be good for you though, because that's kind of like a scene where you're going to get so many reps, and you're around like a lot of good comics, but it's also not like intimidating. Like New York is kind of like overwhelming because it's so intimidating and there's so many good people. You're like, why would I even bother doing this? But Boston, it's like, okay, I can kind of see it's like attainable, but it's also like, okay, these guys are really, really good, and people take it very seriously. Whereas like, yeah, out here you get better opportunities maybe, but it's also like there's so few, like maybe it's one a week or something like that. It's a really good opportunity. So it's like there's so much pressure on it. But when you're in Boston, it's like it doesn't feel as much pressure.
Yeah. I think too it's like you were saying earlier, like there's a lot of opportunities in Miami, but it's a small scene, and like comedy had no bearings on like my decision. Like it didn't even come into the decision, because like I like where I am in comedy here. Like I like my friends. I like Is that another cat that you think fell? It's not.
Oh, thank God.
Not this one.
That was kind of similar to the
bad
sound
did
I heard before. If I was like, she just keeps jumping, at this point, you kind of got to let her go.
It's time for her to go. She just doesn't want to be here, and that's okay.
It's so bad. She wasted her one opportunity to get out. She was just hiding under a bush out there. It's like that. You could have done so much shit.
It was a cry for help.
She had a good 10, 15 minutes out there to do whatever she wanted. She just hung under a bush,
She just.
all scared.
She was revisiting her street time.
She would have
past.
ran for me too. She acted like she didn't even know me when I went out there.
She did. That was weird. Yeah, she
She's like,
didn't
nah,
even
I don't
look
know
at
you. She's like,
She
nah, don't
only-
embarrass me in front of my friends, Dad.
Dad, stop.
Yeah, I'm hanging under this bush right now. Don't bother me. I would have been like, all right, fucking have fun, dude.
Fine. Just be home
Think you
by
can
11.
hang out with all these fucking crazy ass cats down at the end of our street? Good luck.
They'll beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. Maybe when she's older, I'll take her down there, see how she does with them.
You're gonna do like a cat fighting ring?
Like a cat, immersive cat therapy. Like get her involved in all the other cats and let her appreciate what she has. She'll see those cats. Maybe
Like
she'll
a
be like,
Scared
all right.
Straight program?
Exactly. Scared Straight was what I was looking for.
Do you think she's gonna get bullied because she's privileged? Because she's a fancy
Maybe.
cat now. Does she have fleas?
I don't know. We haven't really scoped that out. I can't imagine how she would get them unless my apartment is full of fleas. She'll find a way to
I've given her
get
a lot
them.
of kisses, so I really hope she doesn't have fleas.
Yeah, hopefully you didn't take in anything from the outside.
Or that I gave her fleas.
Right.
That would be, God, not the first time, and certainly not the last.
No.
Not
It's
the
very,
last.
very contagious.
It's bad. It's out of control.
Yeah, so whatever. Hopefully she's fine. I'm sure she'll be good. A little trauma. Never hurt anybody. Builds character. Right?
I'm
That's what they
learning
say.
so much about you.
Yeah, this is the drama podcast. That's what we talk about is past traumas of our cats. And
Yes, it's
how
very
they got over
niche.
them. Yeah, very.
niche.
Yeah, for some reason we only got 3 followers, but
But they're
very passionate.
yeah, they're very, very
They're like,
passionate.
finally, someone's talking about cat trauma.
Pod TSD. Pod.
It's something there. We'll
There's
workshop.
something there. We're gonna work on it.
We'll workshop it.
We'll work on it.
Yeah. So you're going to the Boston scene, and then and you're happy about that. So you're saying you're self-sabotaging comedy, and I can see that. I mean, not from you, but I can see that from myself too. You kind of get to a comedy's just fucking never ending, dude. Like the writing is like you'd be like, all right, I'm gonna write something today, and it's like, oh, that was a waste of 2 hours. And it's
Yeah.
like you feel like you don't get anything for or like you'll think you'll have something and then you'll do it on like a real show and be like, oh, that was horrible.
Yeah.
Be like, I was really thought I was onto something, and it turns out not so much.
Yeah, and then like you were telling me, like you gave me really good advice.
What did I
when we
say?
were at
Quit.
Off the Hook. Yeah, you said quit and leave Miami, and I was like,
Noted.
sounds good. Yeah, I was.
But
like, you know
first,
what?
do my podcast.
You're like extend your lease so that you could do my podcast and then get the
Get
fuck
sick.
out of my town.
Get an ailment. Some stupid organ that you don't need.
Yeah,
and
don't
then,
do a vital one.
Yeah.
Yet.
What was the advice I gave you? I can't imagine what advice I was giving out.
You said it's okay to shelve a set and save it for later.
Yeah, I don't know what I meant by. Yeah, because you think like your stuff is like your good stuff, but it's like always. I feel like always the stuff you hang on to is not necessarily your best stuff, But you kind of like
Yeah.
rely. At least for me, like I would rely on it, but then you realize like, oh, if you kind of like stray from it, it's scary, but it's also like because you assume that because it worked a few times, like that's my thing. I have to go up and do what worked.
I think that's the hard part. Is it like can be very polarizing as far as like that's the up and down of it. Is like at the beginning, like one of my sets, like at the beginning of like this set more recently that I was doing, it was like it would like hit, and then do poorly for a little bit, and then hit. And then it got to the point, like, for me, like, that's where I start sabotaging because I'll go into it and be like, this sucks. They're not going to like it. And I'll half-ass it.
Yeah.
And you also gave me good advice. I'm giving him so much praise.
Wow, I can't believe I was on fire this day, huh?
You were on fire. I don't know.
I must have
what's
had a
going on.
good set because I would only give advice after. If I bombed and I was trying to give advice, you would have been like, "All right, buddy."
No, you had a really good set. It was
So
the
that
set
must
you
have been
came off
while-
stage and you were like looking for a high five.
I
and
was
I told
just
you
signing.
did really badly.
I was signing tits, and people were carrying me off stage. And I was like, "Yeah, I think I did pretty good."
Yeah, it was wild, and I had to humble him. I was like, "You suck, and no one really loves you."
I was like, "Man, it feels very real. It feels very authentic. All these
Yeah.
other people are frauds."
Yeah, you said that you like to keep your jokes. Like you found if they're over like 30 seconds, then it's hard because if the audience starts to like not be into it,
Yeah,
you don't have anything to switch to.
that's probably more like an insecurity. That
No, that feels like
good advice.
it feels like it doesn't have to all be that, you know?
Right.
It can be like some of it can be like portions that you're like, I really like this, or certain bits. But I think what I learned from that as your pupil
Mm-hmm.
is like have like different things as backups.
Right.
You know, like because I have certain things that like me talking about looking like a nanny like 99% of the
Right,
time
it's gonna hit.
hits.
Right.
But there's other things that like the first set I ever did, I ended like cursing someone out in Spanish.
It's pretty good.
And I will never stop doing it in Miami because
They love it.
they love it.
Yeah.
But I could never do that in Boston. They'd be like, "Oh, she can speak it's like Spanish, like very Cuban Spanish."
Yeah. Who
When
cares?
They'd be like, "Oh, yes, she is very well educated."
Cultured. She must have
Yeah.
lived in Miami.
And I'm like, "No, I memorized it from a friend." So,
Yeah.
but like certain,
Yeah, I get it.
I have ADHD, Chris.
Where's the cat?
Where's it? I'm telling you, she's like trying to recover right now.
Yeah, she needs to. She needs to chill the fuck out.
Yeah,
But
she
yeah,
needs to.
that's what I kind of along the lines of what you were saying is like, yeah, as long as you get the laugh, it doesn't really matter. Like if you have short jokes, you at least always have something to. That's why I'm kind of more like I'm impressed by people that can do longer jokes with long time in between laughs because that makes me very nervous. Whereas if you have like a 10-second joke, even if it's like cheap or something, it's like still okay. They're gonna. There, I know I bought me some time, and it can at least gives the impression that like you know what you're doing. Because I think I feel like if I go like a longer period without laughs, I'm like, yeah, I'm freaking out. And then I'm just like, yeah, probably the same as you. I'm just like, they don't like this. This next joke isn't going to, like, if I do a longer joke and it doesn't work, I'm like, fuck, this next joke, if this sucks, they're out.
Yeah, there's certain
You get like
ones-
one shot, maybe they'll give you another chance, but it's like, you got to have one that works after one that sucks, at least.
Yeah. And finding those ones, especially like based on the crowd, like if all of the audiences I performed for were like the girls, gays, and theys, I would crush.
Yeah.
Fucking
They would eat it up.
But that's not the case.
Right. And it's
So-
also not the case of what you, like some people will make it so they only perform in front of those people and only crush, but it's like you're not growing as a comic if you're only making like certain groups laugh.
Yeah. I need to really lean into, I think, white men is, I want to cater
Well, there's
everything
a lot of them out there.
to white men because we owe so much to them.
You're going to run into them a lot. They're
They
gonna
let
be
me out of the
there.
kitchen.
The broader the group, the more chances you have, you know?
So I'm
Whereas
changing
in-
everything.
That's why Naples has been great. If I just perform to, white people over 65, I'm going to do pretty well now.
That's your
I'm pretty confident.
audience. That's your
I
audience.
didn't realize it, but apparently, yeah.
yeah.
Well, maybe now I'm just comfortable with it. And also, I think they're not easily offended. And, like, I think younger people, even though when you see a young crowd, you're like, okay, these guys are cool, these guys are hip, they're probably more likely to get offended.
I feel like I do really well with that.
Yeah. Yeah, not that it's impossible, but it's like
But it's
older
like
people
in
really don't give a
extremes.
fuck.
Yeah, I struggle with like I like one of the things I still struggle with is like I want to make sure my jokes don't make anyone feel like bad about themselves in
Mhm.
terms of like identity, anything like that. But I've had to become like a little like more hardened while I'm here.
Right.
And like let myself laugh at things.
Yeah.
Because before I would be like, what the fuck, you can't laugh. Like that is not okay. And then realizing like comedy is comedy.
Right.
Like you're going on stage and like a lot of times you're just playing a role. And like, because there's so many people that like comedians here that I fucking hated because of how they speak on stage and the jokes they say. And then it wasn't until I talked to them off stage that I was like,
Oh,
you're actually different.
right. You're a
'Cause
decent person.
I'm pretty much the same on and off stage. Like the stuff I talk about on stage is
Right, you
real.
wouldn't be embarrassed to like say it. You wouldn't be like, oh, I have this joke, I can't tell anybody. I can only
No.
say it on stage.
Yeah, like everything I talk about is true and has happened,
Right.
except for cursing someone out in Spanish.
Well, that's about to happen.
But it's about to happen right now, Chris. If you don't fucking put a lid on
You
it,
stay around here long enough, you'll be cursing someone out in Spanish.
it'll
for
happen.
Sure.
It'll
Yeah.
happen. But I think it's like, I don't know. It's just again ADHD. What were you saying?
Oh, like being a bad bitch on stage. Because yeah, sometimes you
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
realize like, oh, sometimes poking fun at a group is like the best thing you can do. Like if you do it tastefully and you do it in a way that's funny, you might offend some people, but at the same time, it's like I feel like I don't go after like lots of groups just to go after them. But if I think something's funny, even if it does, like I got a lot of Latina jokes, and sometimes I'll do like too many of them in a row.
Mhm.
People just because like it's just how I think of them. I'm just like, oh, here's another Latina joke. Oh, I did this Latina joke. Let me do this one.
Mhm.
And I could tell by the end of like the fourth one, they're like, all right, mix it up. Like do a different fucking group
Yeah.
or something. But-
yeah, be inclusive.
Yeah, like if you're gonna insult groups, insult everybody. You know,
I just insult me. It's the
and that's
safest way.
always a safe bet is to
That's
just poke
always-
fun at yourself. Unless like some people do it too much, where the crowd almost like feels bad for them.
Oh yeah, where you like watch it and you're like, I am concerned about
Yeah.
this person's well-being.
Yeah.
Like this isn't. That's like I have such a complex about like the nanny joke. I'm saying this as if people are familiar with my work.
You guys know my nanny bits.
You guys are familiar with
You've
that
seen
joke.
my special, I'm sure.
The first joke I ever wrote.
Probably heard of it.
That I look like a nanny that gets paid exclusively in Kohl's cash. Real hitter. The problem with that.
Why is nobody laughing?
Yeah, why aren't you
I'll-
guys fucking laughing?
I'll pipe in a laugh track on that part.
Yeah. The problem is that one hits too hard.
Right.
Like for me, like it's funny. Like I think it's really funny, but the more I add to it, like looking a little Mormon, like looking, just all these little things. Like the other day, I said I looked like attainably attractive, and people laughed, and I was like, "This is my 13th reason. This is it. I don't attainably attractive. Are you shitting my
Right.
dick?"
Because you want the laugh, but you don't want it.
It's like I want to be realistic.
You can gauge it along with all the other laughs you're getting throughout the set, and you're like, oh, that was significantly higher. That one really hit home,
Yeah, I can.
which means you guys are really, really on board with that one.
Yeah, and that I'm like, I wish you guys didn't laugh because you're all like, but you're
Yeah.
a hot baddie. You're not.
But now you can't even like say. Now you almost don't want to say it. You're like, damn it, it works, but I don't want to say it.
Yeah, I like want to put it away, but I mean, there's.
But I feel like early on, like whatever works, you gotta fucking take it. You gotta be like,
Yeah.
whatever.
It
is
my
what
brand.
it is.
It's true, and I'm starting my job as a nanny in like 2 weeks.
And you're gonna get paid in Kohl's cash.
I am
You
exclusively.
asked for that. You put that in your contract.
Yeah, they were like, "Do you want money?"
You're
and
like, it's
I was
untaxable if you pay me in Kohl's cash.
Exactly.
That would be a good loophole if you got like half your salary in Kohl's cash, untaxed.
Maybe I'll
I
talk
wonder
to
how
them
you could do
about
that.
it.
Yeah.
I'll say hello.
You do it. And you're like, it's for a bit. I kind of need this. I can't talk about anything that's not true, and I need this to be true somehow.
I need this to happen. So if you could just go ahead, we could do that.
Yeah. But yeah, sometimes, I mean, joke about like sometimes things that we think are off out of line. Like you see, I mean, obviously really good comics are different, but like joke about people in wheelchairs, and people in wheelchairs like love it. You know, they're like, they
That's
want to
true.
be included in shit. And like the more you don't include them, the more it feels weird.
Yeah,
that
because
you
then it's
don't.
like you're not acknowledging, like you're trying to respect, but then you're not respecting by not. Like there's, of course, like a way to do things. but I think it's like a tricky line to walk that I'm like not willing to approach yet, because I don't ever want to upset anyone ever, which is like my own problem that I need to figure out.
No, but that's better than a lot of people. Like, we've talked about that. Like, open mics in like Boston and Providence are very like offensive based. Yeah.
Alphas, just a lot of alphas.
Yeah, and I found myself going down that road a couple times, and I'm like, yeah, this doesn't feel good. Until you learn how to do it like tastefully, it doesn't. You can't do what the pros do. You know, it's like trying to go out and do like 360 dunks when you don't know how to do a layup yet.
Exactly.
It's
I
like
love sports.
You know how
I'd be
LeBron
laying
is.
up like it's my goddamn job.
Well, it's like you got to work on the fundamentals first before you can do the trick shots.
Yes.
Before you can do a backflip, you gotta stretch out.
And that's
right?
a callback.
Yeah.
And that is a callback. I think too, if you must know, I did not like you when I first saw you perform. This
Thank
is months
you.
ago.
Where was the first time you saw me perform?
Little Brittany. But I did very shitty, so
So you were probably pissed.
Yeah, I was like, this fucker. I'd hope that you don't remember me from there, because it would tarnish
What is Little Brittany? It's in Little Havana?
No, it's I think it's like in Brickell, and it's like the one that's outside, and it's like you're literally talking to the street.
Oh. Was Tate there? Do you know Tate? Was he there? I think he only did that once.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was really bad.
Yeah, because people were like, they're visiting from New York City.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you were like, oh, real comics, and you're like, no, you're like,
city boys.
You're like, turns out I'm as good as a New York comic.
No, it's like,
turns out I'm ready for New York after all.
You were saying like a lot of like fucked up shit about women on stage, and I was like,
fuck yeah, dude.
I was like, I hate him. I hate him so much. And then I saw you a few other times, and I was like, okay,
he put it together.
You're fine. And then we did a show together, and you talked to me, and I was like, he's
You're
a
like,
person.
how
He's a good
dare
person.
he? How dare he talk to me?
How dare you take the time out of your schedule and talk to me?
That would have been funny if you just had an attitude right away. And I was like, what's up with this bitch?
Yeah, no.
And everybody's like, oh, just saw you at Little Brittany. Yeah, I do remember that show. I don't remember you. No offense.
Full offense.
But I just remember it was a nightmare show. It's outdoors, and yeah, nobody's paying attention. And I think I was probably just like, fuck it, I'll just do all my worst things. But yeah, I don't stand behind whatever I said that night. And my back was against the wall. I was like a rabid kitten, probably just hurling.
I appreciate
slurs.
your apology.
That being said, those are probably all my best jokes right now.
They weren't. I'm familiar with your work.
I mean, that's the tricky thing. Open mics are like, that's where you kind of have to say some bad shit just to kind of get it out there and be like, okay, where's the line that I feel comfortable with? And shows like that are where you're like, all right, yeah, that's probably where it is like the worst first impression to see somebody at one of those things where it's like, oh.
Yeah. I've made a lot of bad impressions, like not in terms of offending people, but in terms of like just being so shitty, like just performing so poorly.
Yeah.
Especially because I started and like just like came in like aggressively, like just was really into it. And then it's like, it's hard because if anyone ever, like one single person is like, oh, this person's funny, then you're like, shit. Because you go on stage and you're not funny.
Yeah.
And then people are like, no, she's not.
I know. That is the worst. When people, yeah. That's the thing. Especially when you're, not to say like I'm a New York comic. When you come from New York and people are like, oh shit, a New York comic. And then you just go up and bomb. And people are like, what the fuck is this? But I've seen it from even really good comics that are like, yeah, you kind of expect something from them. But then you see them like a couple times. You're like, okay, I get what's going on here.
Yeah.
You need like a bigger sample size almost.
I haven't seen you bomb a lot, to be honest.
Oh, they're out there. You haven't seen me enough, obviously.
That's a you problem. That's your fault.
Yeah. I mean, tonight I'll probably bomb. Tomorrow.
What are you doing tonight?
Doms. That's a bomb. That's a bomb waiting to happen.
Nope.
Some of these are just like inevitable bombs. It's like there's some places that are, like I've only bombed at. Have you done the Dania?
Like the 14.
Yeah, the one next to the Dania.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is a bomb city.
I did like just above bombing. Like,
good for you. Then you killed.
But hear me out.
Yeah.
That was the night that I went to the emergency room to get my gallbladder out.
So all in all,
I was like
pretty good
sick
night.
there. Like I'd been feeling sick all day, but I was like, you made a commitment, you have to go. And I went, and while I was on stage, like I still felt sick, and I was like, you motherfucking do it.
Yeah.
But that isn't a good quality of mine, because like I almost died last time I did that.
But it shows what you're made of. It shows that when your back's up against the wall,
Well,
you come out guns blazing.
I almost got my organs completely shut down the first time. So.
And another sports reference, that was your Jordan flu game. Do you know that reference? One time
No.
Michael Jordan had a flu, and he played in, I think it was the
Yes.
NBA Finals.
I've seen the docuseries
Yeah.
4 times.
Yeah, it's really good,
Yeah,
right?
so I'm really into sports.
Yeah, so that was your... Now you know that. Oh, I think we have a plane going behind us, or maybe a helicopter. It sounds, what, helicopter-ish?
Some sort of aviation
Yeah.
device.
UFO. Now this view is beautiful,
Oh my god, this looks so gorgeous.
I know. Maybe we'll just do the second half of the... This was more exciting.
Yeah.
Although people are going to be like, if this was more exciting, I can't imagine the first half.
I know, I feel like it's still not exciting. And it can't possibly
No, that's the
be
name of
me.
the podcast. Not exciting. Yeah, nobody...
I think it's all on you.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I put people to sleep, dude. That's why... just got to get your reps in. Just got to get the podcast popping. This is how Joe Rogan started, you know?
Oh my god, eat shit. Can I be the interviewer now?
Sure. What do you have for questions? I'm an open book.
I'll get in there.
Yeah. Well, we're pretty much done, so you got like 10 seconds.
Okay, well, now I have nothing to work with.
Exactly,
What was the
that's
first
how I-
word you said as a child?
I
Besides like mommy and daddy, those don't count.
don't know. You know yours?
Duh.
Yours was duh?
No, mine was shoes.
Shoes? Good for you. Yeah, I don't... People know that?
Yeah.
Do you know the time of day you were born?
Like 8 or 9 a.m.
Oh, I would have no idea.
Do you think
no
you were
clue.
even born?
You ever see that meme that's like a boy texting his mom like, "Hey, when was that? What time was I born?" And she's like, "Leave
Run.
that girl immediately." That thing pops up like every other fucking month, and I'm like, "Who's taking credit for?" Like, it's always like somebody, like a new conversation. I'm like, "This has
Yeah.
already been done."
Like, we've done this
whoever's
bit.
still getting the 100,000 likes off of this shit, that's bogus.
It is, and people who look that kind of stuff up couldn't be me. I have.
Yeah.
I have
Oh, like where
before.
did it originate?
No, I mean like looked up someone's birth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people take that very seriously.
I only believe in it when it benefits me.
Right. You're not going to hold it against somebody?
No, it's just like I get a little eerie about it if it's like a romantic relationship, because I'm like, I don't like not feel like I don't like unknown things. So I'm like, how can I feel some sort of control? And I'm like, these two things don't match up.
Yeah.
Guess I don't have to waste my time.
Yeah, yeah.
Guess I can just.
But what if it
scoot
does
on out.
if it does match up, you're like, "Okay, this is great. This is meant to be."
Then I'm like, I should probably still leave.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case this astrology is all bullshit.
Yeah, I'm a very easy person to love.
Like either way, I'm out.
Either way, I will be leaving and not
Yeah.
talking to you
For,
again.
For that reason, I'm out. Sweet, dude. Well, where can people catch you next? And I'm trying to think what's a good Boston show that you'll be doing, probably.
I'm doing Laugh Boston.
You're doing Laugh Boston.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I've done Laugh Boston once, maybe twice, and it was a competition, and it was a gong show. Are you familiar with gong shows?
No.
You get 5 minutes, but there's 3 judges up there, and they can gong you off at any time. And I made it through like a minute, and I got gonged off.
I'm proud of you for trying. I wouldn't even try.
But that was like the one way you could get at Laugh Boston back in the day, because everybody wanted to perform at Laugh Boston. But yeah, look at you. You're already fucking jumping over.
let's
Everybody.
help from others.
You don't have to tell anybody that. Nobody has to know that you're not headlining. We won't tell them that.
I headline all the time, everywhere.
So you're
So
headlining
you can
Laugh
find
Boston.
me.
What's the date on that show?
Probably TD Garden too. I think that's Laugh Boston is October 8th.
All right, this
I
will probably be
believe.
out before then. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Imagine you get people to come to the show that are like, I saw you on that podcast.
Yeah. This is me, Bailey Rymes, before I'm famous.
Yeah.
Come to the show. It's going to be me, Brittany Brave, Jamie Lee Simmons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simons. I'm so sorry. And Emily.
The cat mom. They're the mother of this
Yeah,
cat.
edit in their names. It's not that I just I don't know. My brain doesn't work. It's going to be all of us. And like we
Wow.
talked about before, it's going to be,
No dudes. That seems
seems really fucked
seems
up.
really fucked up.
Really
Very-
fucked up.
Very exclusive.
It's going to be like a fun Miami party night. And then as we discussed, I'll be in the corner in colonial garb.
Is there like a
churning
theme to the night?
butter. I think it says like on the thing, it's like Miami like party.
Wild bitch scene.
Yeah. And they made the right choice with me.
That's crazy. dude.
Yeah.
That's gonna be so fun.
Yeah. I'm
Damn, I'm jealous.
Crazy.
What's the night of the week that it's on?
I think it's the Lord's Day. I think it's
It's a Sunday?
I think it's Sunday night.
That'd
Yeah.
be great. Laugh Boston.
That'll
Wow, I'm
be
jealous. Maybe I'll show up.
Yeah, you should just show up and be like, can I have some time?
Yeah.
Can I remember
You're
me?
like, I'm a wild Miami bitch. I can be
You're like, I'll take my top off.
I can be naughty.
Just
I can be a little skank.
can't we all?
This does look better at night. I think with the lighting. So next time we'll do it at night. Because if nothing else, it'll at least be a good. It'll at least be a good visual, even if people are like, yeah, the material sucked, but at least it was nice to look at.
This is so if you need like a screen grab or something,
Yeah, we'll do that.
do something with yourself. You're not doing anything. You're not giving me anything.
Well, that's
to
the
work
theme
with.
of the podcast. Is I do nothing. You're very well lit, and I'm less lit. I think that's probably for the best. That's what I'll do. Is I'll just light the guest, and I'll just be in the dark, all creepy.
Just be off screen.
Oh, that would be good.
No one knows.
I could say whatever I wanted,
Yeah. Edge
and just make the other person feel very uncomfortable. Just try to get that. Try to ruin careers. Be like, yeah, come on, you can talk about that.
You can talk about it. I'm not recording.
Like,
You
it's
can talk
fine.
about
You
it.
can say whatever.
It's HIPAA. I can't tell anyone.
Yeah.
It's,
Let's talk about your health records.
yeah. I found them, and I'd like to discuss a few areas, a few discrepancies.
All right. Well, catch Bailey at Laugh Boston, October 8th.
Yes.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm going to be there. Everybody and all the people that watch this will be there too.
Yes, you will.
All three of them.